Okay, so this is Mr. Ellis. We're going to talk about some biotechnology now. For those of you in my B-Day class, I'm not here today. Today we're going to go over this, so that's why I'm going over it right now. First, I'm going to go over the vocabulary first, then we'll go over the warm-up questions, which you have copies of. Y'all can thank me later. Okay, make sure you pay attention. Here we go. It takes forever for this old computer to work. Now, biotechnology is the use of biological molecules to solve problems and make products that are beneficial to humans. Like a lot of you probably took the class of Miss Hodges last semester, or you're taking it this semester. And you'll be, those of you that had it last semester, you'll be ahead of everybody else. Okay? And those of you that are taking it this semester, you'll actually get a head start by learning this in 8th grade science. So it has to be something that's dealing with science and living things. Usually the three main branches of biotechnology, one deals in the health field, one deals with agriculture and farming, and then the third one is usually some kind of energy resource. Okay, genes. Okay, genes are what the hereditary unit determines your characteristics that you have. You get your genes from your biological mother and father. Talk about chromosomes. You have 26 chromosomes, 23 chromosomes. Excuse me, 23. You have 46 in each cell. 23 from your mom and 23 from your daddy. Okay, and that determines how the color of your skin, your hair color, your eye color, if you're tall or short, if you're skinny, if you're fat, what diseases you might end up having or deficiencies you end up having later in life. Okay, so that's your genes. And in biotechnology, a lot of times we um, can manipulate those things. Now, cloning. Y'all heard of clones? Y'all probably seen science fiction movies. I always know Star Wars: Attack of the Clones. All the stormtroopers were clones. Okay, so a clone is an actual identical copy. They take the DNA, they replicate it to make a new organism without going through the birth process. And it's an exact copy. Now, we've done this with animals. Back in the 90s, they did it with a sheep over in England, and it worked. They've done it with other animals. We do not do this with humans. Okay, it's a big national, international law that you don't try to clone humans. Clone humans. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy. Because somebody they could make a clone of you, steal your identity. They could kill you and go off and take your identity. So that's one reason probably don't do it. Plus, a lot of times, a lot of people say they want, oh, we need to have clones so that if somebody gets an accident and they lose like a liver or a kidney or something like that, that they could use their clone, they could harvest that. But then it gets into a little gray area about, well, you're killing a human being to save another human being. And does that clone have a soul? And then you get in all the spiritual debate. So that's why I think they kind of made it where no scientist should be cloning human beings. Okay, genetic modification. Okay, it's also called genetic engineering. This is where they manipulate, they go in, and they actually take genes from one organism and put it in another. They could take a goldfish gene and put it in a cat gene. I don't know why they do that, but they could do that. Okay, they could even take a fish gene and put it in yours. Of course, we don't do this with humans a lot. There's a lot of science fiction movies out there where they like to do a lot of it. One of the ones from I remember watching when I was a kid in college. It's called Species, where they made this woman and she was like a monster. Like she had all these different things. She ended up killing everybody. Let me tell you, anytime they do genetic modification in a movie, it always goes wrong. Okay, I guess that's why I don't do a lot of it in real life either. Okay, you got to really worry about the last thing. Just saying that the reason people would do this would be to make things better. We do this a lot, probably with plants more so than animals. Bioremediation, that's how we kind of clean waste. If they got like a oil spill or a lot of back when they had the hurricanes, you had the sewage system getting into the drinking water. What they do is they would release these certain types of bacteria that eat the poop, or they'll eat the oil and clean it up. That's called bioremediation. That's how we're able to use those little bacteria. They're very helpful. And we talked about that when we talked about water treatment plants, how there's bacteria in those big, I guess, big ponds that they do the water treatment at, like the one we got behind the school. They got the bacteria in there that actually eats up the waste that we have. Compost is also another type of one. Okay, agriculture, that's just the fancy word for farming. Okay, usually when you cultivate animals, you can grow plants. I know saw somewhere on North Carolina weekend talking about fungus farms. We're growing mushrooms in North Carolina a lot now. We use it for food. We use them as a fiber to make our clothes, like cotton. Um, Biofuels, like when we talk about ethanol coming from corn. We use it for medicinal plants. A lot of the stuff we use for medicine. Okay, you all know that one thing that's illegal that a lot of people use for medicine that they sell in some states, but they don't sell here. That marijuana. Okay, so that's agriculture. Okay, ethical issues. Now, ethical issue is an issue that is evaluated as either right or wrong. Okay, if it's ethical, it's usually the right things are ethical, wrong things are unethical. For instance, it is unethical to walk into a store and punch somebody in the face for no reason, or pull out a gun and shoot someone, kill somebody for no reason, and you don't know who they are. That's unethical. Okay, when you lie, that's unethical. We got lots of people in our country, as politicians, that like to lie. Okay, so those are ethical issues. Now, some people they might think it's okay, and some people don't. That's why it's kind of a gray area with ethical issues. It's kind of like with this we talked about cloning. Some people think it's a good idea, some people think it's not. Okay, and it becomes an ethical issue because here's the thing: is we don't want to end up be playing God by creating things that we shouldn't be creating. Okay, now selective breeding is something that we've been doing for thousands and thousands of years. It's when we actually take plants and animals and we breed them. Like, for instance, animals. The cows we have now that live on farms are not the same cows that lived 200, 100, 200 years ago. Well, they figured, they said, well, we want cows who are going to produce a certain type of milk. So what we did is we let those cows reproduce. And they made babies that produce good milk, and then we let them keep on reproducing. If there was a cow that didn't um, uh, produce good milk, then we would not let them reproduce. Same way with plants. The vegetables we eat today and fruits, like a corn cob or an apple or a peach, strawberries, those things look nothing like their ancestors did hundreds of years ago. Okay, oh, the lights went out on me. I got to move around. Okay, I know y'all don't see the lights. Y'all just see my screen. So selective breeding's been going on. Farmers have been doing it for years and years and years because they want, for instance, if I grow watermelon. Watermelon, I want it to be the biggest watermelons. They're nice and juicy. We started making ones that don't have seeds in it. And what we did is we grew ones that had those attributes, and we would cross-pollinate them. Okay, and that gets more into the genetics and stuff, which you'll take later in your science classes in high school and college. Okay, economic benefits. Economic always means money. We always know the difference between the price paid for something and the price sold for that good. You want to make a profit. That's what the world's about. People are all about money, especially in the United States and with capitalism. We want to have an economic benefit. And biotechnology has good economic benefit for North Carolina, especially because we are one of the biggest areas, the research triangle, that triangle that forms between Raleigh, NC State University, Durham, Duke University, and Carolina, UNC Chapel Hill, in Chapel Hill. That forms a triangle called the Research Triangle Park. And we have some of the greatest scientists that live in North Carolina that are doing research and biotechs that try to make our life easier, to improve things. And of course, they like to make money. Okay, so that's why we're talking about economic benefits. Domestication. That's the process of adapting a wild plant or animal for human use. Okay, y'all know all the cows and pigs, and they came from a wild animal. Our dogs, they came from wild animals. And we'll talk about more when we talk about evolution later in the school year. But they all came from wild animals, and we domesticated them over thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Okay, once they're fully domesticated, they're no longer considered wild. And that looks like that's the end of that show. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Y'all better be good for me, y'all. My B-Day class. I want y'all right on the floor now. This is that first period class, okay? Turn this thing off. Y'all be good now. Don't give yourself a hard time. See y'all on Monday or Tuesday.